morning, everyone. Welcome to Singularity University's Exponential Medicine 2017. We are here on day 3. So happy to have you with us. We're broadcasting live from the beautiful ballroom at the Hotel Del Coronado in San Diego. XMed has been unfolding before our very eyes for the last couple days. And it's been an incredible conference so far. We're going to continue on into tomorrow, so we're about halfway. So I hope you guys are all enjoying what you've been seeing so far on stage and what you've also been seeing here during the live stream with our interviews during the main stage breaks. We've had some really incredible guests and we've helped keep the conversation going in a different way. We also appreciate you guys participating on our Twitter feed with the hashtag XMed and keeping the conversation going in that way as well. Right now I'd like to welcome with me, I have Shawna Butler. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting in right now that we're having audio issues. So thank you to those guys who are out there alerted us to that. We're going to be changing my mic real quick. Live TV, here we are. Sorry about that.
Exponentials.
So hopefully you can hear Sean.
Can you hear me?
All right, so if you guys can hear me, I'm going to welcome here Shawna Butler, who is the lead for partnerships and outreach for Exponential Medicine. Shawna, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
I'm so glad to be here. And you know what? This is just how it happens,
isn't it? This is how it happens. Technology at its finest.
Yes.
But this is, I guess, I don't know. Innovation is the necessity is the mother of innovation.
That's
there you
right,
go.
Right. No, and actually, it's so funny that you would mention that we're going into day 3 because with the amount of content that we've had, I will tell you, it feels like it's been a whole week already. So
Shawna, tell me a little bit more about what we can expect today.
Hot off the press. I've got the.
So I think you're watching, and now that you can hear me, thanks for bearing with us.
So one of the things that I'm really looking forward to is we're talking about the future of the brain. So we've got a couple of faculty members with us, Jordan Amadio, Divya Chander, and it's really fascinating to see the technologies and the possibilities that are being opened as a result, and patient populations that we're able to reach, people who are able to use the technologies, and the things that they are actually able to do as a result of the technologies. So that's going to be a really fun one to pay attention to. We've got several tech demos. So I think that that's going to be one of the things that people are going to want to pay attention to is a lot of the demos. And we've got Shafi Ahmed and Raphael Grossman, who are going to show us a lot about the technologies, the HoloLens, things like that, how they're being used in surgical environments, how we're using them to teach the next generation of clinicians. So that's going to be really fun.
Raphael Grossman is fantastic. We'll be talking to him later today in the GuideWell Insights Lounge doing an interview. He's amazing to me because he pioneered the use of Google Glass in surgery, and so it'll be interesting to see what he's working on now. Right. I'm excited to talk to him about that.
So speaking of pioneers, we also have Brennan Spiegel, and he's doing some really interesting work with virtual reality in environments, in patient settings where we haven't really tapped into patient education and having a library of a lot of these types of materials and how they're using that to manage pain and a range of things that patients are going to have a lot more control over. So it'll be very interesting to see Brennan. He spoke yesterday with one of our breakout workshops talking about that.
Fantastic.
So that's going to be really fun to pay attention to. The other part, speaking of the brain, we're also doing a session on mental health.
Good.
So again, just a huge need out there.
Yep.
So how are these technologies helping us to reach patients, reach them in different ways, empower clinicians to do different things?
Sure, that's been a topic that's really been at the forefront. It seems especially over the last year, it's gotten a lot of attention. And so it'll be interesting to see from the exponential medicine perspective, how we can help disrupt the paradigm of how patients with mental health are being treated and how they're incorporating their treatments into their daily lives.
Well, and it's interesting because the disruption is one piece of it, but it's actually problem solving.
Right.
So disruption for the sake of disruption is just disruptive. but from the standpoint of taking a look at what are these things that we had looked at that weren't possible to do, how do the technologies actually enable it, and more importantly, democratize it?
Right.
So how do we reach those patients that have been more difficult to reach, or it's just more challenging to serve?
Sure.
So that's going to be really fun. And going back into that, we've got Leslie Saxon, we've got Jordan Schlane, who are thinking about, you've got these technologies, how do you actually bring it into clinical practice? So they're going to be talking to us about the future of what our clinicians, how are they actually delivering these services? How do they interact with the patients? What's the role of the patient, and where do they become consumer versus patient? So that's going to be a really fun piece to take a look at. We're also looking at going across the pond. So we've had a lot of interesting outcomes with the NHS.
Okay.
So Tony Young, when he was here
Yep.
a couple of years ago, put together the Clinical Entrepreneurs Program. And that started basically with an idea. I think there are like 300 now clinicians that are part of this Clinical Entrepreneur Program. So Jack Kreinler will be here with us,
Dr. Jack. Dr. Jack. Everybody loves Dr.
incremental
Jack.
medicine. So
for those of you, we should stop real
Yes.
quick and just kind of update everybody. So
Sure.
last year it was at the end of XMed, Dr. Jack Kreinler and a group of like-minded friends put together this incredible video to close out XMed 2016.
making the case for
exponential medicine against incremental medicine. And so this is still floating out there on the internet, I believe. But it is hilarious if you get a chance to take a look at that. I think you can Google incremental medicine.
Yeah.
And you'll see what we're talking about. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. So Jack will be up there with some of these fellow innovators that are through the NHS program. And he'll be there with Michael Series. So that's really fun to watch and see this next generation, their mindset, the paradigm shift, and how they're doing a lot of different things. So we'll have that. And then we also have the future of pharma.
Oh, cool.
So talk about a sector that's ripe for disruption.
Right. Now, this is a new thematic for XMed, is it?
Well, I think it's not so much a new thematic. It's just where are the possibilities and the opportunities. So that's kind of stage stuff. But what's more fun is what happens off the stage.
Yeah, no,
so
we were talking about that.
I'm wearing the XMed scrubs today as the iconic scrub shot out on the beach, which is always this really interesting scramble because people always ask us, how do you do it?
Yep.
We got it down to a science.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about that, because I'm just curious. So for those of you who've not seen the scrub shop photo, it's basically everybody attending this conference receives a pair of XMed scrubs.
And there's a surprise with our scrubs this year. There is a surprise.
Okay, well later, when we
that's
talk
right.
to Daniel for the recap of the evening, we'll find out what the surprise is.
But be looking, because there's going to be a fun surprise.
Very cool. So everybody gets their scrubs, hustles down to the beach in front of the beautiful Hotel del Coronado, which is just incredible. I mean, it's just an amazing space. And truly, it's one of the unique aspects, I think, of XMed is that you have this iconic, historic hotel, and yet we're talking about the future of health and medicine at it. And so it's very neat. But the picture itself, I mean, everybody runs down, gathers together, and then...
Our secret sauce, we use this high-tech thing called a bullhorn. But it's amazing.
Don't lie. Last year there was a drone. I saw a drone.
Yeah. There will be a drone, and so there's going to be more than one drone. There's going to be a couple of things going on.
A fleet of drones taking this scrubs photo now.
More than one thing. But it is. Everybody huddles together, and I think where we are right now in the progression of the conference, yesterday we had some real heart-opening sessions when we talked about Janet Solid and really looked at the human side of what it is, the human side of cancer.
Right.
So that was a really fun part. So by this point in time, everybody's huddling just a little bit closer, and I think that everybody feels a lot more comfortable being together. So when we get the scrub shot, when we say squeeze in, there is no hesitation. Everybody's there.
No, it's a great moment. It really is.
So we'll have that, and we have all of our breakout sessions. So they're really intense conversations that people are having around AI. And I have to say, our live stream audience has been so fantastic.
They have been.
The questions that we've been getting,
no, keep it coming, guys. Hashtag
really good,
XMed.
really good questions. And in those questions, that spurs a lot of the conversations that are happening in the breakout sessions. So,
and I do want to say too, for those of you like when you walk through the halls of the Hotel Del, you guys have screens up. So we're looking at those tweets that are hashtagged XMed, and we're looking at them. People are standing around and they're bubbled up on one of those fantastic little social media displays, and we're watching what you're saying.
So thank you. Keep those questions coming, and your comments. They really have helped us to think about things in different geographies, different disciplines, different domains, different use cases. So it's been a really important part of spurring the conversation here. And it's interesting to see how it manifests itself up on the stage content.
Right.
So that's been a really big piece. And then, of course, we've got all the stuff happening in the Innovation Lab and the Medi Awards. So
and then you have to mention my favorite part. This is my favorite part of XMed, is the silent disco.
Yes.
So for those of you who've never been to a silent disco, Shawna, paint a picture because it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I have to say, people don't think of us as being able to cut loose. Oh, we can cut loose with the best of them. Yeah, we can.
Yes, but the way you do it is just so amazing.
So it is. It's really fun to go walk in and seeing all these people moving around on the floor, headsets on, lights flashing, people just having a grand time, and there's no sound.
Exactly.
No
so
sound.
It's silent. So the room is silent, but everybody's dancing.
Yes, everybody's hearing the music. So we'll have 4 dueling DJs.
Perfect, dueling DJs.
So you get to pick the music you want to. You pick the music you want to jive down on, and then come and join the fray. It has been known to take itself out onto the Windsor lawn, out onto the beach.
Oh, it has.
So as far as the signal will carry, that's where the dancing happens.
No, it's true, and it's incredible to watch because it truly is in silence. It is the most awkward thing to walk into. You're like,
to walk into
when you're in it. When you're in it, it's amazing.
It's completely beautiful.
We're going to have to maybe shoot a little video of that and post that up somewhere so that our friends in the Twitter sphere can see exactly what we're talking about here.
So anyway, we again, great interviews that are happening here, so thank you for continuing those conversations.
Thank you so much. We're happy to do it.
And what we're really excited about is one of the first interviews and articles will be posted today on the SU Hub, and I'm so grateful to say that first article is focused on the disparities.
Okay,
so
great.
While the technology is really shiny and all that other stuff, there's this call around where do we have exponential impact?
Right.
And boy, if we can address the disparities, because that's the beautiful piece of what we're able to do here is democratize.
And you're referencing that panel that took place on day one with Gloria Wilder,
Josh Lee,
and Lee Sanders, right? And so we had them here also in the Insights Lounge. There is an interview, I believe that is posted up on our YouTube channel now for you guys to take a look if you want to catch up on it.
And we followed up with that, and we've done a longer form article that's going to be posted on SU Hub today.
And how can people, they can find it on SU Hub, and if they're not on SU Hub, how do they find that?
Singular U Hub.
Ah, perfect, okay. Great, and if you want to provide some feedback on that, there's opportunities to comment.
The more feedback, the better.
Good, great.
So, because I think that there are a lot of ideas percolating out there, and this is a really wonderful opportunity to share what the platform is and to get this into the hands of people who are going to make things happen.
Yep.
So I think I hear the music calling us. I probably need to go backstage.
Okay, well, I will let you go.
Okay.
I'm going to wrap up here for us. Thanks, Shawna, for joining us. So for those of you, again, who want to follow along, #XMed, we are reading your tweets, and we are definitely seeing a lot of people in the audience and in the crowd read your tweets as well. So I wanted to mention here too that we do have all of our interviews from the last few days going up on our YouTube channel, and that channel is GuideWell MHC on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, you can either search GuideWell and you'll find it there, view our playlists. We have several playlists up there actually, and so if you wanted to see some of the other on-location Insights Lounge interviews that my friend and colleague Kate Warnock has completed over the last couple days, actually, they were at the Oliver Wyman conference. If you want to take a look at those, they are up. There's also a historical record of XMed's past up there, so if you want to see what we were up to in the Insights Lounge last year and the year before, all of those great interviews are there as well. So keep watching. We love having your participation. Thank you again for following us along on Twitter. We're going to throw it live to the main stage. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you at the break with some great interviews. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. This is Jessica DeMassa in the GuideWell Insights Lounge.